In the world of royalty, fashion has always played a significant role, with members of the royal family traditionally following strict guidelines when it comes to public appearances. Royal women, in particular, have often been expected to wear modest, timeless outfits that align with the public image of grace, elegance, and conservatism. Yet, amidst these conventions, there has always been one member of the royal family who seemed to dance to the beat of her own drum: Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. While often flying under the radar compared to other high-profile royals like her mother, Queen Elizabeth II, or her brother King Charles III, Princess Anne has carved out a unique place for herself as a fiercely independent and practical royal. But beyond her remarkable dedication to royal duties, she has become an unexpected style icon, admired for her bold and eclectic fashion choices that often break royal tradition. What sets Princess Anne apart is not only her individualistic approach to fashion, but also her refusal to conform to the expectations placed on her. She doesn't dress to impress or to be scrutinized by the fashion police. Instead, she dresses for herself, a symbol of her confident and no-nonsense personality. As we dive deeper into her fashion journey, we will explore how her style has evolved, from rebellious choices in her youth to her unapologetically bold looks today. Stay with us to discover how Princess Anne, the original royal rebel, became a true fashion icon, and why her influence continues to inspire women today. When we think of royal fashion, we often picture perfectly tailored dresses, demure hats, and carefully selected accessories. But Princess Anne, from the very start of her public life, has never quite fit that mold. She's been described as a rebel in the royal wardrobe, and for good reason. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, a young Princess Anne made headlines for her daring choices, most notably her love for trouser suits and short skirts. It's easy to forget just how revolutionary this was at the time. Today, women wearing trousers is commonplace, but back then, it was still a controversial choice. Melissa Lund, a personal stylist and image coach, recently spoke about how radical these choices were, saying, "Anne started wearing trouser suits in public in the late 60s, early 70s, and she wore short skirts." None of this seems out of the ordinary or edgy to us today, but at the time, there were places where women were not allowed to wear trousers. Imagine the surprise of seeing a young royal, bound by tradition, stepping out in attire that defied societal expectations. In 1968, even in the liberal atmosphere of New York City, the American socialite Nan Kempner made waves by being refused entry to a Manhattan restaurant for wearing a Saint Laurent tuxedo. Instead of leaving, she famously removed her trousers and entered wearing just the jacket and her underwear. This anecdote highlights how much attitudes toward women's fashion were evolving at the time, and Princess Anne was part of that movement, even if she did so quietly and without fanfare. Of course, Princess Anne's choices were all the more remarkable when viewed against the backdrop of her mother, Queen Elizabeth II's more conservative fashion tastes. The Queen was known for her love of classic formal wear. She had a well-documented preference for modest hemlines, muted elegance, and traditional silhouettes. Anything too modern, too bold, or too revealing was generally off-limits in her view. Melissa Lund points out, "We also have to consider Anne's choices against the backdrop of what the late Queen Elizabeth II liked, or rather didn't like. The Queen famously didn't like women in trousers or short skirts. She didn't like knees, apparently. Wedges, bare legs, and nail polish were also vetoed. Princess Anne, however, was not swayed by these unwritten rules. She wore what suited her lifestyle, whether it was practical riding gear for her equestrian pursuits or a tailored suit that allowed her to move with ease. And while her mother may have preferred more traditional attire, Anne's choices were a reflection of her personality, strong-willed, independent, and unafraid to be different." One of the most fascinating aspects of Princess Anne's style is her sheer practicality. While other members of the royal family might be seen in designer gowns or outfits carefully chosen for media appearances, Anne's wardrobe is refreshingly down to earth. She's been known to recycle outfits for decades, wearing the same pieces over and over again with a kind of nonchalance that has earned her both admiration and amusement. Take, for example, her love for a certain green floral dress. She's worn it to multiple weddings over the years, a move that might seem unimaginable for other royals who are expected to debut new outfits at every event. But for Anne, fashion is not about making a statement or attracting attention. It's about function, comfort, and durability. This is perhaps best illustrated by her riding gear. As a skilled equestrian, Princess Anne has always prioritized comfort and performance over high fashion. You're more likely to see her in a tailored blazer and riding boots than in a designer gown. But even in these practical outfits, there's an elegance that shines through, an understated chicness that is quintessentially Anne. Despite her penchant for practicality, Princess Anne has also had her fair share of fashion moments that could be described as wild. From rocking Adidas sunglasses and bucket hats to stepping out in bold evening gowns, she's never shied away from trying new things. Her eclectic choices have earned her a reputation as a fashion maverick, and her style is now seen as avant-garde. Melissa Lund agrees, noting, "Princess Anne has certainly sported some controversial looks over the years. In fact, I think of her as the original royal rebel. I think Princess Anne is fabulous because she doesn't give two hoots about what anyone thinks of her lifestyle or fashion choices. In an age where royal women are scrutinized for every fashion choice they make, Anne's confidence and independence stand out. She's never dressed for the press or for approval. Instead, she's always dressed for herself." And that's perhaps the greatest lesson that we can all take from her. Fashion, at its best, is a form of self-expression. And for Princess Anne, it has always been about expressing her unique, authentic self. As we look back on Princess Anne's fashion journey, it's clear that she has always been ahead of her time. Her bold choices in the 60s and 70s paved the way for a more relaxed, modern approach to royal fashion. Her willingness to break the rules, whether by wearing trousers, recycling outfits, or embracing unconventional looks, has earned her a place as an unlikely style icon. But beyond her fashion, Princess Anne represents something even more important. She embodies the spirit of independence and resilience. Her style is not about following trends or making headlines. It's about staying true to who she is, a royal rebel with a heart of gold. So the next time you see Princess Anne stepping out in one of her wild outfits or re-wearing a dress she's had for decades, remember that it's not just a fashion choice, it's a statement, a reminder that true style comes from confidence, authenticity, and the courage to be yourself. Thank you for watching, and let us know in the comments what you think of Princess Anne's iconic style. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more royal insights and fashion discussions.